Hello and welcome to this overview of the 2022 Martinsville Comprehensive Plan. My name is Corey Weitzel. I'm with HWC Engineering and I've been part of the project team responsible for putting this plan together. We're going to cover several things in this presentation. The first will be an overview of why Martinsville is updating its comprehensive plan. We'll go through a summary of the top priorities that are identified in the plan. We'll talk through a breakout of what has changed in this plan compared to the last plan that was done, which was in 2017. We'll also provide a summary of how you can provide input and comments on the plan as we walk through the plan review and adoption process. So let's get started with an overview of what a comprehensive plan is and an explanation for why Martinsville is updating this plan. In short, a comprehensive plan is a big picture guide to the future needs and opportunities in the city. By Indiana statute, a comprehensive plan must be in place to support zoning decisions, but it serves a lot more than just land use. It covers quality of place, housing, infrastructure, and much more. Comprehensive plan update is an extension of planning efforts that go back to 2010 when plans for I-69 were forming. This plan included Martinsville, Mooresville, and Morgan County, each updating their plans at that time. They adopted a shared vision for the location of interchanges and overpasses on I-69. Then in 2016, Martinsville completed an updated planning document, which was an economic development plan. It was intended to better document their need for planned interchanges as NDOT was considering changing the location of interchanges. Those decisions were then formalized in 2017 as an update to the Martinsville Comprehensive Plan. This established updated priorities in land use recommendations and interchange recommendations as an actual formal land use policy. Since that time, Morgan County has also updated their comprehensive plan and thoroughfare plan to document how the county would adapt to I-69. That brings us to this 2022 Martinsville Comprehensive Plan update. These previous plans have all been preparing Martinsville for the changes that are now here. This plan is intended to document the infrastructure and access that now exists. It includes updated land use and transportation network updates to reflect these built conditions. In that sense, it's really an administrative update. By administrative update, I mean that this is an extension of the previous plans and not a whole new plan that was started from scratch. Now, while we updated the plan for I-69, we also made other updates and changes based on various projects and priorities that the city has been working on to make sure it is reflective of everything that the city is working on. Now, to inform this update, a public survey was completed to gauge community input on those previous goals that are being carried forward and on some of the new initiatives that the city has been working on. We received over 300 survey responses, and a tabulation of that survey is included in the draft plan. This input has also been added into each chapter of the plan and can be found in the community feedback header within the chapters. Shift and talk a little bit about what is covered in the content of this plan. While a wide range of issues are discussed, there were 4 key themes that were carried throughout the plan. The first of these key priorities for Martinsville is to promote quality interchange development. The community has worked very hard to structure I-69 improvements to help the community prosper. But to be successful in the long run, the community will need to be very careful in guiding quality development and redevelopment. To do this, the plan has identified a series of special development areas and included detailed recommendations on development that is desired at each location. Second key plan priority is around the need for new housing development in the community. Throughout the process, we heard of the need for a full range of housing products. We heard about the need for affordable housing for working families, as well as the need for upper-end housing to attract executives. We also described a whole mix of housing types and products that fit between these. This plan identifies locations where various types of housing should go, and it's described what is needed to happen to encourage housing. Now, while housing is needed in the form of new investment, the plan also emphasizes parallel investments in existing neighborhood revitalization. Martinsville needs to continue to support reinvestment in its existing neighborhoods to make sure we're supporting the families that are already here. Final priority identified in this plan is the need for quality of place investments. Today, we recognize that attracting and retaining workers is the biggest need for most area employers. To support this, Martinsville and other communities across the state are making investments to support outstanding quality of life in their communities. For Martinsville, this is envisioned to include additional downtown investment, parks and recreation improvements, as well as investment in bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure. Let's move on and talk about key updates that were made as part of this plan. We'll start with this plan includes a transportation map that has been updated to reflect the roads, interchanges, and overpasses that were built as part of the I-69 investments. This updated map is important because it outlines where there is access to existing and new development sites, as well as access to various redevelopment opportunities. To correspond with the roadway map updates, the future land use map was also updated. This map shows the city's vision for how land use will change over time. Note that this is not a new zoning map. Instead, the city uses this map as a guiding document that is referenced when changes to zoning are proposed. Now, one of the changes that is impacting Martinsville this year is Morgan County has decided to take over zoning control of the fringe areas around Martinsville. Previously, Martinsville had zoning authority within this 2-mile fringe area around the city. The challenge for Martinsville is that areas near the city could become part of the city in the future and need to be served by city services and utilities. So careful decisions need to be made on whether development should follow city standards in those areas closest to the city or county standards for areas further away from the city's corporate limits. Now, while Martinsville does not have direct control of zoning decisions outside of corporate limits, they do have several tools at their disposal. Most notably, the city will want to carefully decide if and when to extend municipal utilities to growth areas. To ensure that developments meet city standards, Martinsville can require that new developments in the county agree to be annexed and follow city standards before utilities have been connected. This plan describes the strategy and outlines other strategies for close coordination with the county that can help best manage these areas. The other key change in this plan is an updates to special development areas. These are areas of the community where growth, development, or change may happen in upcoming years. Each one of these special development areas includes recommendations and a zoomed-in future land use map focusing on that area. Let's briefly introduce you to each one of these special development areas. We'll begin with the State Road 39 bypass. Martinsville is currently working with the Corps of Engineers on a levee extension that will allow this area to be developed. If it is approved, this new area could be opened up for parks and for more housing investment. The second one is the State Road 39 and I-69 interchange. This area is already seeing a lot of change, with restaurants having relocated from Burton Lane to Morton Avenue. This plan describes how to manage this change and guide development so that it has appropriate access. New corridors in the community is Artesian Avenue. And this area has a short-term opportunity for new housing development as well as commercial investment. This sub-area of the community does include recommendations for the Ohio Street interchange as well as development on Grand Valley Boulevard. The North Gateway area covers the State Road 44 and State Road 252 interchanges. This area identifies hillier area for residential development and recommends using some of the flatter area for commercial development. This reflects how important topography is as a controlling factor in development in this district. While most of these special development areas are along I-69, we did include two areas that are located in other areas of the city. The first is on the northwest side of the community. City pursuing recertification of its levee in this area. We believe there will continue to be opportunities for employer sites in this district. This plan also describes how the park may change if a new youth sports complex is developed in the community. Recommendations are also provided in the downtown special development area to encourage continued downtown reinvestment. The last area is the Liberty Church interchange. The previous plan from 2017 included detailed development analysis and recommendations. This plan acknowledges that current property owners have expressed they do not want to see the area developed. So the plan supports keeping current uses as they are for as long as property owners choose. Now, if current property owners propose changes in uses, then the city has enacted this plan to say what it should be if it is changed. But again, it's more than suitable for the city, for the area to remain as it is. Last two topics that are updates are quality of place and housing. We mentioned quality of place as a high-level priority earlier. This plan identifies three areas of quality place investments that are proposed. The first is in sidewalk and trail infrastructure to improve walking and biking in the community. The second is the development of a new youth sports complex, potentially in the area west of State Road 39. Finally, this plan recommends continuing to pursue downtown revitalization efforts. And then the last update to this plan is an emphasis that is on both housing and neighborhoods. Now, the previous plan discussed the need for housing and actually described some of the ideas around increasing density of development. This plan defines that out a little bit more and describes specific products such as duplexes and triplexes. There are many areas within the city where these type of products could be compatible and would support the city's housing goals without having to extend costly new infrastructure. The plan does recommend updating the city's ordinances to have clear, defined rules for how this could occur. Finally, the plan recommends investing in existing neighborhoods so that they remain high quality and desirable places to live. Final part of this presentation is a summary of how we will go through the plan review, public comment, and adoption process. So the first step in this process is that a draft of the plan has been released to the public, and this presentation has been posted to provide everyone with a summary of the content that is provided. Next, the plan will be presented to the public at the August 23rd Martinsville Plan Commission meeting. We are asking for comments after that meeting to be returned by September 2nd, and an updated draft of the plan will be distributed. The Plan Commission is scheduled to review and act on the plan at their September 27th meeting. The plan would then go to the City Council in October. A copy of this plan can be found at the Planning and Engineering Office in the city. A copy can also be viewed online at martinsville.in.gov. Comments regarding the plan can be emailed to me, Corey Weitzel, at the email address listed here. They can also be sent to Gary Oakes, Martinsville's Director of Planning and Engineering. I want to thank you for being invested in your community and for taking the time to listen to this. We welcome your thoughts and ideas on the future of the City of Martinsville. Thank you again.